Sometime last year, I was standing on my front steps watching a storm approaching and watching the lightning. It was dark, very pretty. Anyway, I looked down toward the bottom of the steps. I see a dark mass about the size of a human. I ignored it, thinking my eyes were playing tricks, and I kept watching the storm getting closer. I looked down again, and the mass seemed to lunge toward the steps. And it freaked me out so bad I ran back in the house. As soon as I finished locking the door, lightning struck the house. I feel something saved me from becoming Vulture BBQ.
When I was a kid, me and my sister visited a friend's house and slept in a room by myself. I woke up to go pee in the middle of the night. And when I was trying to go to sleep, I heard a voice saying, come here, look at me." That stuff messed me up. I kept falling into full sleep and going into dreams and coming out of them, only to be in another dream, hearing those phrases. "Come here, look at me." Several years later, I asked my sister, who was in the room next door, if she had heard anything. And she confirmed she heard that same stuff, but wrote it off to being high. She just slept. The next day, we found out that the cousin of our family, friend, had been staying there and was into vampire stuff and, in our opinion, demonic stuff. He had gotten arrested the previous night and left all his things there. Our friend's mom, who we told, burnt all that his books and goth stuff. It's messed with me my whole life, not knowing what that was about.
All of my paranormal experiences have been joyous, except for one that was terrifying. I lived in an old house, and the bathroom sink would turn on in the middle of the night about 3-4 times a year. Usually I could shut it off and it would stay off, but one night after I shut it off, I turned around to head back to bed. Suddenly it turned on again, full blast, as if to taunt me. About 30 minutes later, I was able to go back to sleep, but after 2 hours I was woken by a horrible presence in my room. I remember screaming no while feeling that this evil presence was attacking me from above. It was very real, most terrifying experience ever. 10 years later, I pulled up in front of that house to just look at it and try to remember the good times. The current owner pulled up behind me and got out of his car and started a conversation when I told him that I used to live there. He asked me if anything paranormal happened while I lived there. He had also been visited by an evil presence.
I worked at a small bar and grill for a few years. While working, you were the only employee. The only ways in or out were the front door and the west door. The bar had an alarm system that also made both of the doors cause a loud beep behind the bar when opened. The bar was centered with the front door, and the bathroom was on the east side of the room. If you come in or out either door, you walk past the bar. The place was old, and the bathroom did not have a typical door. It was more of plywood on hinges with a spring, so every time someone went in or out, it would slap pretty loud. One afternoon, it was very slow. It was just irregular, and I had done all my day prep, so we were just talking. While we are talking, the front door opens. It beeps. A guy walks in and heads to the bathroom. We hear the door slap and think nothing of it. Folks go to the bathroom before ordering all the time. So the customer and I are talking, and we notice the guy has not come out of the bathroom. He makes a quiet joke about the guy must be taking a dump. So after about 20 minutes, customer says, "Should you go check on that guy?" So I do, and there is no one in the bathroom. There is no window. There is no other door. A person would have to hold the bathroom door on purpose, and then walk past us without us noticing. And then the door that always beeps would have to fail. We freaked out because dude just vanished, like there was some portal in our bathroom.
I saw a dream, and a group of people destroyed gravestone of my grandma. That wasn't just a gravestone, but a designed monument with a special place for a flower bed. She really used to love plants and flowers, and she had a green finger, so everything used to grow and flourish. So in the dream, they destroyed that gravestone, and I woke up feeling really anxious. I called my uncle, who lives very, very close to the cemetery, and who could have checked everything. He said everything was okay. I still felt bad and decided to go there. 2 hours driving. To find the gravestone was ruined exactly the way I saw it in my dream.
In 8th grade, I had a dream where I was camping in a desert with my parents. While there, I saw a fireball in the sky that ended in an explosion. I rushed over to see what had happened and came to a wall that blocked my path. I heard scratching on the other side and looked up and saw 2 alien creatures looking down at me from over the wall. This startled me out of my sleep. But when I woke up, I noticed 2 beings to the right of my bed, and when I looked at them, they immediately scattered and hid. I was frozen with fear and tried to stay awake the rest of the night, but I never heard anything or saw them again and eventually drifted back to sleep. The other experience was in college. I went to bed and eventually woke up, but I wasn't in my bed anymore. I had a white sheet over my head and I was on a table. I slowly pulled the sheet down over my face and looked up and saw two beings looking at me, and one pulled the sheet back over my head and I was out again. I next woke up back in my bed, but with my sheet over my head. I was feeling the adrenaline and counted myself down from 3 to pull the sheet down. Once I did, I saw two beings to my left, and when I looked at them, they scattered out of sight and I didn't see them again. I've not seen these beings again since then, but every time I see a particular looking depiction of an alien, I feel a slight panic attack.